Welcome back. So I'm reading the New York Times bestseller All About Love, New Visions by the author Bell Hooks. I'm in chapter 3, and there's a quote at the front of the chapter that I'm going to read because it gives you the ideal that we're looking for before she delves into reality. Reading, when we reveal ourselves to our partner and find that this brings healing rather than harm, we make an important discovery. That intimate relationship can provide a sanctuary from the world of facades, a sacred space where we can be ourselves as we are. This kind of unmasking, speaking our truth, sharing our inner struggles, and revealing our raw edges is sacred activity which allows two souls to meet and touch more deeply. John Wellwood. So I'm going to then jump in now to what is, but I'll come back to that quote in a short, okay? Reading. Allegiance to male domination requires of men who embrace this thinking, and many, if not most, do, that they maintain dominance over women, quote, by any means necessary, end quote. While much cultural attention is given to domestic violence, and practically everyone agrees it is wrong for men to hit women as a way of subordinating us, most men use psychological terrorism as a way to subordinate women. This is a socially acceptable form of coercion, and lying is one of the most powerful weapons in this arsenal. When men lie to women, presenting a false self, the terrible price they pay to maintain power over us is the loss of their capacity to give and receive love. Trust is the foundation of intimacy. When lies erode trust, genuine connection cannot take place. While men who dominate others can and do experience ongoing care, they place a barrier between themselves and the experience of love. All visionary male thinkers challenging male domination insist that men can return to love only by repudiating the will to dominate. That is, giving up the will to dominate. In The End of Manhood, Stoltenberg continually emphasizes that men can honor their own selfhood only through loving justice. He asserts, quote, justice between people is perhaps the most important connection people can have. Loving justice for themselves and others enables men to break the chokehold of patriarchal masculinity. In the chapter titled, How Can We Have Better Relationships with Women in Our Lives?, Stoltenberg writes, loving justice between a man and a woman does not stand a chance when other men's manhood matters more. When a man has decided to love manhood more than justice, there are predictable consequences in all his relationships with women. Learning to live as a man of conscience means deciding that your loyalty to the people whom you love is always more important than whatever lingering loyalty you may sometimes feel to other men's judgment on your manhood, end quote. When men and women are loyal to ourselves and others, when we love justice, we understand fully the myriad ways in which lying diminishes and erodes the possibility of meaningful, caring connection, that it stands in the way of love. So yeah, a lot of times, jumping in here, a lot of times men, and you'll see later we'll be talking about women lying, they lie, they betray the women in their life to live up to some idea of masculinity. It's like you have to be as unkind as other men because that's what it means to be a man. Reading, Since the values and behaviors of men are usually the standards by which everyone in our culture determines what is acceptable, it is important to understand that condoning lying is an essential component of patriarchal thinking for everyone. Men are by no means the only group who uses lies as a way of gaining power over others. Indeed, if patriarchal masculinity estranged men from their selfhood, it is equally true that women who embrace patriarchal femininity, the insistence that females should act as though they're weak, incapable of rational thought, dumb, silly, are also socialized to wear a mask, to lie. This is one of the primary themes in Lerna's The Dance of Deception. With shrewd insight, she calls women to account for participation in structures of pretense and lies, particularly within family life. Women are often comfortable lying to men in order to manipulate them, to give us things we feel we want or deserve. We may lie to bolster a male's self-esteem. These lies may take the form of pretending to feel emotions we do not feel, to pretending levels of emotional vulnerability and neediness that are false. So she's not just saying men are liars, but when you are placed in a position where you cannot stand on your own 2 feet, as women, patriarchal women are, they have to attach to a man, and they do so by any means necessary. Heterosexual women are often schooled by other women in the art of lying to men as a way to manipulate. Many examples of the support females receive for lying concern the desire to mate and bear children. When I longed to have a baby and my male partner at the time was not ready, I was stunned by the number of women who encouraged me to disregard his feelings, to go ahead without telling him. They felt it was fine to deny a child the right to be desired by both female and male biological parents. No deception is involved when a woman has a child with a sperm donor, as in such a case there is no visible male parent to reject or punish an unwanted child. It disturbed me that women I respected did not take the need for male parenting seriously or believe that it was as important for a man to want a parent as a woman. Whether we like it or not, we live in a world where children want to know who their fathers are, and when they can, go in search of absent fathers. I could not imagine bringing a child into the world whose father might reject him or her because he did not desire a child in the first place. And I could not imagine lying to someone, coercing him into parenting, right? Like, that shows a lack of respect, a lack of care, a lack of love for a man, to use him like a tool. But that's just me. Growing up in the 50s, in the days before adequate birth control, every female was acutely conscious of the way unwanted pregnancies could alter the course of a young woman's life. So it was clear then that there were girls who hoped for pregnancies to emotionally bind individual males to them forever. I thought those days were long gone. Yet even in this era of social equality between the sexes, I hear stories of females choosing to get pregnant when a relationship is rocky as a way of forcing the male to remain in their life, or in hope of forcing marriage. More than we might think, some men feel extremely bound to a woman when she gives birth to a child they have fathered. The fact that men succumb to being lied to and manipulated when the issue is biological parenting does not make it right or just. Men who accept being lied to and manipulated are not only abdicating their power, they're setting up a situation where they can blame women or justify woman hating. So of course we see people doing things, unhealthy people doing things like that, but it's always stupid to be deceptive, unethical, because you never get what you want from that kind of thing. As it says, she says here, just descend into resentment, into like the person didn't want that child with you in the first place, and then they start wanting the child, but it doesn't make them want you. This is another case where lying is used to gain power over someone, to hold them against their will. Harriet Lerner reminds readers that honesty is only one aspect of truth-telling, that it is equated with moral excellence, an absence of deception or fraud. The mask of patriarchal femininity often renders women's deception acceptable. However, when women lie, we lend credence to age-old sexist stereotypes that suggest women are inherently, by virtue of being female, less capable of truth-telling. The origin of this sexist stereotype extend back to ancient stories of Adam and Eve, of Eve's willingness to lie even to God. So I'm going to stop here, but you get the picture. The ideal is where we can, as it said in Genesis, be naked with each other and unashamed. But then we've created this deceit where men use lies to gain power over women and women use lies to gain power over men. None of that is helpful. None of that is loving.